So this is our morning in Yokohama. We don't know if we've been delayed.
It's exactly 1 year that we boarded the Diamond Princess in Yokohama, Japan.
The dream cruise. The cruise we had waited many years for.
Little did we realize that it would be a 2-month journey and that now that a year has gone by, that it would be the start, the epicenter of what's become the key story of the year and probably the story of the decade, maybe the century, with the pandemic crisis hitting the entire world.
So this was supposed to be the day we disembarked and flew home. But
It was supposed to be a 17-day cruise.
There were about 360 people already on board with COVID, which represented about 10% of the ship. The total cases around the world at that time, subtracting China, not counting China, was about 180. So we had double the amount of COVID cases on the Diamond Princess than the entire rest of the world had at that particular time, which I think puts it in a little different perspective.
Okay, now you gotta, that's it. Now just raise your arms. Oh,
When we found out Jerry was being taken off in 1 hour, we had watched for a 2-week period daily because we were on the harbor side of the ship. So every day we would count the ambulances and go, oh my gosh, there's 40, there's 65, every day. And the way it was happening and they were backing the ambulances up, and just that process alone just freaked me out about Jerry being removed and having no idea. They would not tell us where she was going. And it turned out all the hospitals in that local Yokohama area were all full, even in Tokyo. So she was brought 4 hours away to Fukushima.
And that's when it really hit us that this thing hit home rather than just watching people get taken off the ship. That day on the February 15th, both my Jerry and I decided we better take a COVID test. Up till then, they were only doing thermometer tests with us, and if you had a fever, you reported it and got a COVID test. We had COVID tests on the 15th, but the process of getting the tests back would take 3, 4, 5 days because it would have to get sent from Yokohama, our port, to Tokyo to a lab and back, and by then it was so backed up. So I didn't get the report that I was positive on the 15th till a week later.
this is part of waiting. It's been now almost 6-hour journey for a half-hour drive getting from the dock to the airbase.
And the State Department had brought in 2 747 cargo planes to evacuate us back to the States. And I got on board the plane after an all-nighter getting on board the plane, and we were stuck on buses for 6 hours. It was really a bad situation.
What we learned later was that the State Department and the American government had found out that several people had tested positive, and they didn't quite know what to do with those people.
Carl got a fever a couple hours into the trip. He's now in isolation there with 3 others that they did not offload.
I obviously was dehydrated, even though I didn't realize it. I was exhausted. When they put me in the quarantine area, there were already a number of other people in there, and I instantly sat in the chair, fell asleep, and slept all the way to the rest of the 8 hours of the flight till we landed at Travis Air Force Base outside of Sacramento. They did not allow me or 2 others to exit the plane. Everyone else got off the plane at Travis. We were going to be sent to a biocontainment area in Omaha.
This is our greeting team. Holy cow.
All right.
CDC was there with their headquarters and had a full biocontainment team, medical personnel, and had this equipped without ever putting it to use. And they put it to use for the first time when the Ebola crisis hit. So an Ebola patient had been in that room that I was in. That was it. Then 5 more years went by before I became patient number 2 in the biocontainment area.
The other couple that was with Carl, the wife who was with us, had a fever when she got off the plane. So I was the only one that was still clear. So I was isolated and put into an empty van with sheriffs, and it was a whole thing. I thought we were going to another Air Force base, but it turned out we were going to Nebraska Medicine Center.
So this is my room. Little desk, bed, nice lounge chair, and the most important thing is my workout equipment that has saved my life here, getting my endorphins out. So pretty much like a dorm room.
So here's my room, and you can see that computer screen has a camera that looks out onto my bed, kind of like in a fishbowl. This bed I'm just using for storage. It is a bed I would have if I was in worse condition, which I'm not. Oh, I got up. I got up on the first try, that's rare. I take it a day at a time. And the one thing is I'm getting stronger and stronger each day. And I notice it's the little things that I can do now that become victory for me. My wife, Jerry, has been unbelievable throughout this. First of all, she's been an angel in taking care of me, but more importantly, the two of us ran the radio station, worked together we've had this station now for 31 years, and she's doing 99% of it. I can't do any of it.
So through this journey and through him being, he's been in the hospital 4 different times this year, for over a month. So, it's been, I get to put my big girl panties on and be grateful every day that he's alive. Know that, we've got a wonderful staff here that's helping me run the station, and we moved in that time. So a lot of different changes, but even to this day, very, very grateful.
I haven't been at this radio station since I left for Japan, before I left for Japan. So I've basically been on disability. I can't do half the chores that I would normally do in our lives. I can't do. I can't go out shopping. I can't drive a car. I kid around with a blog about cleaning up the dog poop. I can't even clean up the dog poop anymore. So she does most of that. And on top of that, she also is my drill sergeant when it comes to exercising and being diligent and not being lazy about it, and being, not the drill sergeant, maybe a better word is a cheerleader. She's been my #1 cheerleader with it, and enticing me and helping me to continue to meet the challenges.
You know what, it's every day we get up very early, and we're, lucky that Carl on a special day may be able to get out of bed by himself. And into the wheelchair. There's little wins for us that are like, winning the lottery. So we take that on a daily basis. Knock on wood, there's been no COVID outbreaks here at the station. People have stayed safe. Our staff has been very aware. And when they are around someone that has it, we quarantine and, keep people separate, and blessed that, we're still operating and being able to be the voice for Santa Clarita.